श्री महेश्वरी वासवी नगरेश्वरी परमेश्वरी कामितान्तमुलिच्छि ब्रोममु कन्यका परमेश्वरी श्री महेश्वरी वासवी नगरेश्वरी परमेश्वरी कामितान्तमुलिच्छि ब्रोममु कन्यका परमेश्वरी देवदेवी महेश्वरी जगदीश्वरी भुवनेश्वरी काववे ममु यल्लवेलल कन्यका परमेश्वरी बालचन्द्र किरीटधारिणि भव्य सुन्दर रूपिणी वैश्यवंशयशोभिवर्धिनि कन्यका परमेश्वरी श्री महेश्वरी वासवी नगरेश्वरी परमेश्वरी कामितान्तमुलिच्छि ब्रोममु कन्यका परमेश्वरी कन्यका परमेश्वरी कन्यका परमेश्वरी.
Okay, so India wins freedom. India wins freedom. This was the autobiography that was written by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad before his death. Okay, and he instructed his secretary to publish this 10 years after his death, in two sessions. So the first session and then the second session in 5 or 6 years after the printing of the first session. So it went as well, and there was a lot of legal issues whether to print this or not. Okay, are you comfortable with English or Tamil? Because this would be slightly like a documentary, and if it is good, if you understand, or probably let me know in which language you'll be comfortable, so that I can take you through. If it is English, type E, or Tamil, you can type T. Okay. Good. So multiple English options. Okay, so I'll resort to English. Okay, fine. So I'll give you two to three main important events that inspired me, or which I opted to share during this session. Okay, because since you people happen to come from the mathematics background, so I will explain few scenarios which help you relate with your mathematics background. Okay, so if you happen to read this book, or probably buy this book later after this session, I request you to go to the 13th chapter, Interim Government, on page 174. Okay, page 174, Interim Government. Page 174. Okay. So why this particular topic interests me is, as I've told you, it relates with mathematics. Okay. So this happened when the Lord Mountbatten mission has arrived, and they were planning to give India a complete control of their own country. In the sense, they were planning to give the government, or all the process of electing, governing, everything to us. That is when they wanted to test how the government will function. Okay, so normally we have the interim president or interim prime minister, the stopgap arrangement. Okay, in the commercial things, we call it as pro forma invoice, or probably something that is not actual, but a model government, something like that. Okay, so they wanted to understand and identify how this Indians will take care of themselves.
Recording
Okay, so
stopped.
So there were two major parties in the pre-Indian independence area. One was the Indian National Congress, and the other was Muslim League. Okay, so I want you to imagine the India that was
Recording in progress.
before partition. That is before Bangladesh getting separated or before Pakistan getting separated. Even part of Afghanistan was also with in line with India. So India had a huge geographical boundary. So Muslim League, I mean, it was one of the mightiest power in the political scenario, and Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the head of Muslim League, and there were a lot of people, I mean, who were already in power in the British government, like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and a lot of other leaders. And when this interim government was announced, the people started fighting for portfolios and powers. Portfolios is like the ministries, the finance ministry, the home ministry, and various other ministries. Okay, so Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was the leader of the Indian National Congress, and Muhammad Ali Jinnah, I mean, he was the leader of the Muslim League. They both had to have equal share of powers, and the Indian National Congress decided to give home ministry to Muslim League. But as we all know, the Iron Man of India, the Statue of Unity, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, he was strong enough not to let go the home ministry from his hold. Okay, he firmly stood and stated that I want the home ministry and I cannot part with anyone. I'll be the home minister in the pre-independence India as well as in the India that forms, or the government that forms after independence. Okay, and he was the home minister thereafter. And the Indian National Congress had some difficulty because even it has to be equal share of power. So they had a trick. They had a trick, like they decided to give the finance ministry to Muslim League, and they were confident that none of the leaders of the Muslim League were well versed with mathematics or finance. Okay, and even though they would be given the finance ministry, ultimately all the decision of finance will eventually come back to Indian National Congress INC, because none of the people there were competent enough to handle the finance ministry portfolio, because not were that much educated, or they were not that good with the numbers. Okay, so this was being discussed, and then they proposed to give the finance ministry to Indian National Congress, and they were all shocked because finance ministry is one of the mightiest ministry, where they have access to every other department, because every other department has needs to get finance or the support, the resources from the finance ministry to take to kickstart their project or whatever requirement that that particular department is being formed for. They were hesitant initially, and when this information about the finance ministry is being given to Indian National Congress was announced, and the people of Muslim League, they were all shocked. But yet there were a certain group of people who felt that this is a wonderful opportunity to expose or exhibit the unity as well as the intellectual team that lies on the second or third level of Muslim League. So they all wrote letters or mails. At that time, email was not there, so they all wrote letters, and some people, they actually went directly to meet Muhammad Ali Jinnah and express their support if the ministry is being handed over to Muslim League. And with the support of these people, Muslim League was very much confident, and they accepted the offer of Indian National Congress to form the government with finance ministry, the portfolio given to the Muslim League. Okay, and Muhammad Ali Jinnah selected Liaquat Ali to head the portfolio, and he was the person who will be sworn in for the finance ministry portfolio. And after this was done, the Congress was living in their happiest moment, because after the first session would end, they all thought that Mr. Liaquat Ali will make a fool of himself because he's not well versed with numbers, and eventually the finance ministry will be handed back to uh, Indian National Congress. But what happened was it was a total topsy-turvy or
Recording stopped.
change of tables. Okay, everything went haywire and everything went against the Indian National Congress, because once he started presenting the budget, everything was highly intellectual and everything was well planned with perfect forecast. The team under Liaquat Ali was highly intellectual and they provided all possible support to the leader. What happened was the Indian National Congress felt that they dug up their own grave. Why means whatever portfolios or whatever proposals the Indian National Congress were handling and whatever proposals they were sending from their ministry for approval, everything was scrutinized and everything was questioned, because the finance ministry had their nose as well as their hands, their eyes on every other department. And what we can understand from this is, and how we are relating this to Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, is because he was one person who was hesitant to let go of the finance ministry from Indian National Congress to Muslim League. He was hesitant, and he did not want the finance ministry to go off the Indian National Congress hands, and he insisted that some other department could be given. But ultimately, everything went so different, and end of the day, it came back to the leader of the Indian National Congress, who was Maulana Abul Kalam Azad at that particular time, and he made a smooth agreement between the Indian National Congress as well as Muslim League, that whatever you do, I mean, you do with the interaction, we can discuss everything and then we can take it to the British government, because ultimately this is an interim government and they want to understand and see how well we are performing our government. And he played a major role and vital role in keeping up peace, as well as ensuring that administration is properly held by various people who are handling the portfolios. And what kind of learning or lessons that we can take from this particular act or this particular event that is mentioned by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad is mathematics and the importance of being effective in numbers. Normally, a government is formed, everyone would be keen on knowing who the finance minister would be, and what is his capabilities and what is his competencies, and how is he focusing or how is he planning to take the country forward the next 5 years or thereafter. Now, adding to this, it's been quite a bit of sessions, some 10 to 15 minutes. I'd like to have a small activity for you all. Give me a 4-digit number. This is not related with Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, but I mean, this is based on a contemporarian who lived at the time of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, and they were good friends. Okay. So give me a 4-digit number. Anyone? A 4-digit number. You can type it in the chat box. Okay, so thank you, Rehana Khatun, 1820. Okay. So can I request everyone to take a notebook and a pen, a notebook and a pen? I want everyone to do this activity. I'd like to give some good refresher during this session. Okay, so if you have your notebook and pen, type 1 in the chat box. Yes, Vandana says a notebook and pen. Okay, Ogeshwari, good. Okay, we've got BCom students also. So this is organized by mathematics, but every department is attending. That's good. BSc ID. Do is 1820 is the number. Hope that's not the birth year. Okay, so probably it cannot be. So 1820. So what I want you to do is, arrange this in descending order. Okay, and 8210, So 1820 was the number. So arrange this in descending order and ascending order. 0, 1, 2, 8. Sorry. 8, 2, 1, 0. 0, 1, 2, 8. Okay. Yes. You will have to subtract 8210 by 0128. Don't use calculator. Try to use manual calculation. Okay, so fantastic. It's 8082. Okay, now what you do is you again arrange this in descending and then in ascending. 8820 minus 0288. Fantastic, fantastic, Dimple Mahalakshmi. Very good. Okay, good, good, good. Kushi M. Okay, so 8532. Okay, so 8532 is already in descending form. So subtract 8532 with 2358. Okay, why? Six, 4, 1 minus 1, 4, 7. Okay, so I didn't get 4707. Is this a new number? Okay, 6164. There is some error that you have done, Tarun. 6174. Okay, that's the right number. So this repeats this constant. There was one person who was the contemporary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. They all lived in the same period. Okay. Yes, Vikram. Okay. In Vikram, if you could have noticed, Amar would have asked his fiance or wife. I mean, they got married. Amar would have asked his wife to board a taxi, to board a cab. Okay. The cab number was 6174. Probably if you today is holiday for you and it's really a gloomy day, if you can make some effort, watch this movie, okay, and try to find out the car number that he mentioned. Okay, it would be 6174. So a lot of things, I mean, which this film people try to implement or create awareness among the people, but we see that as a normal number and then we move ahead. We don't see the importance of all that. Okay, so this is something I want to inform you. And the other thing that I want to talk about Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was you all know that, I mean, he was the pioneer and the brain behind creation of all these IITs and IIMs. Okay, if not for him, if not for his thought process, or if not for his vision and mission, we would not have got IIMs or IITs, or none of the IITs or IIM people studied from there. So his ultimate mission to set up all this IIT and IIM was to create a wonderful think tank which can help and develop India as a international leader, get a lot of manufacturing sectors as well as a lot of solutions that can provide a lot of solutions that can provide for all the problems the people are facing. But what happens nowadays, people who graduate from IIT and IIM, they are moving abroad, they're taking up hefty package or fat paychecks and moving Western or probably to European countries. They are this process is called as brain drain. They're learning from India, but they are supporting the people outside India, or probably our competitors. So if and all any of you happen to enter into IITs or IIMs in future, so I request you to ensure that you live the dream of Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. You study in India and you put your service in India for the Indian people, the Indian community, and ensure that you uplift the of India. And another one moment, uh, the partition of India or the divided India. Okay, so when the freedom was given, the independence was given to India, and after 1947 August, it was in the early 1948 when our Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, he wanted to tour the northern parts of India, like the Afghanistan, Pashto, and places in Pakistan, and right now the POK, Pakistan occupied Kashmir. All these areas, he wanted to take a tour where Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, he understood the criticality and he warned Nehru not to go for this particular campaign, because he understood that people of the northern India, they are very hostile, and being a highly optimistic person and highly adventurous, he did not mind Maulana Abul Kalam's words, and he set on a trip to cover the northern part of India. And he visited the leaders' houses over there. And after reaching all these places, after reaching part of Afghanistan and the in between the borders of Pakistan and Afghanistan, he identified that the people are very hostile. The leaders did not take care of the masses, and they were living really uh, carefree and highly careless. If I could think, I mean, that would be a bit of mockery, but and it could be hilarious. Okay, uh, there used to be biscuits. Okay, when people go to England and come back, they used to buy uh, tins and tins of biscuits, and these biscuits would be uh, segregated or divided into the top leaders of all the political parties, and to invite the people and to treat them tea and biscuit at least once in a while. Okay, but what happened was when these biscuits were distributed to the people in the northern India, they kept it for themselves because they like the biscuits. They kept it for themselves, and this was not parted, or this was not shared with the common people. Okay, they had huge stocks of biscuit, but it was not shared, and the people, a famine stuck. Okay, famine stuck, and there were a lot of demand for food supply and everything. And these people, they came to know that there were biscuits that were meant for the common people to be shared among themselves, but it was not given to them, and they turned hostile. And there were a lot of civil wars, and there were a lot of stone pelting and everything that happened because of this small biscuit. So whenever you come across biscuit, so ensure that, I mean, it is not normal that we get very common nowadays, but people fought for this normal biscuit in the immediately after independence, or at the time of India becoming a democratic government. And what happened was, when Nehru was campaigning in a open jeep, where it will not have any cover. It used to be an open jeep. A stone that was pelted, it hit Nehru on his forehead, and he was badly injured, and he was taken to hospital. And immediately from the northern states, or the northern part of India, he was rushed back to Punjab and then to Delhi. And that is when, I mean, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, he said the normal explanation, see, I want you, and it did not go. So nothing of that sort happened. He did not claim supremacy, or he did not claim anything above, like how we normally say, நான் அப்பவே சொன்னேன் நீ வந்து கேட்கல. There was not even a single point of that supremacy was made by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, and he eventually partnered or paired with all the nationalist leaders, and went on a discussion on how this situation can be taken into control, and how the people can be pacified, and what is the best that we can do to the people so that people don't resort into any kind of violent issues like this. And they went with a lot of food supplies and a lot of various other things that the people required, distributed them, and had a one-to-one discussion at the ground level. Okay, sat along with them, discussed, and then they pacify the people and ensure that they'll be taken good care of the people, and then things were sorted out. And the other thing that I want to add is, consequently, 2 or 3 times Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was chosen as the president of Indian National Congress. Okay, so whoever heads the political party, he will be the person who will be nominated as the prime minister. So every time when Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was selected or elected as the president, he turned down his nomination or election, and he in turn gave or requested Jawaharlal Nehru to be the president. So this happened thrice in a row, and eventually when the election was handed over, or the result was handed over to Jawaharlal Nehru to be the president, that is when the prime minister candidate was to be chosen, and eventually that is how Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru became the prime minister of India. Leadership of Indian National Congress to Jawaharlal Nehru, definitely it would be Maulana Abul Kalam Azad who would have been chosen the Prime Minister of India. So Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, he never wanted anything for himself. He always sought good for the entire people of India. He understood that India is a mixed government. India is formed by who belongs to various religious caste and creeds. And if he is being chosen as the leader, even though he was elected as the leader, if he is chosen as the Prime Minister of India, that would be a lot of disturbances that can fall in place, and a lot of civil wars could have been fought, because we were just transforming from the partition. Okay, and it would have been some only 2 to 3 years when the partition happened and India became a sovereign and democratic country. So we all should understand his sacrifice, his mission and vision for uh, a united and a sovereign government. And he did not think anything for himself. And throughout this book, okay, probably I request everyone to purchase this book, okay, and read every page by page and understand whatever was mentioned over here. And I just gave you some three snippets from this, and there's lots. Okay, he has mentioned a lot of other famous leaders whom we come across, like Maulana Asif Ali, then and there was Sheikh Abdullah, and he mentioned about lot many leaders. Okay, if I go through this another time, I'll remember the leader's name, I think. Okay, so with this, I conclude the session, giving you the importance of mathematics, which is ultimately the base and core of everyone's existence. Without mathematics, I mean, we cannot survive, or probably we cannot do any of our regular day-to-day activities. Okay, say it for waking up, time is numbers, and how many minutes you take to do your nature call or your personal hygiene, and how much time you take to eat, how much time you take to read your regular activities, read and do your regular activities, or prepare for the future. Everything is forecast, is based on numbers, and if it is numbers, it is mathematics. So remember how people played with the portfolio, finance ministry being given to someone, I mean, who's not capable to handle it, but eventually how second and third level team was highly intellectual, and they volunteered to support the government, and they had the complete control of the Indian government as well as the interim government, because they had a very strong portfolio, that is the finance ministry, with them. Okay, so as I've told you, I don't want to take much time. Okay, so everything else is available on the internet as well as on the book. If you and We also had some gyan about Capricorn's, okay, who was the contemporary of Maulana Abul Kalam. They lived in the same due to the job that was given to me today. And if you have any questions or anything that is related to today's session, I'll be happy to answer to the best knowledge that I've got. Probably the host can give the participants to unmute themselves if they want to ask some questions.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Participants, do you have any doubts? You have any queries? You can just raise your hand so that we can unmute your mic.
Okay, so go on with various permutations and combinations of numbers in math. There's a 3-digit constant, and I have not checked with 5-digit. Probably, I mean, you can try with 5-digit and make math as fun as possible. And there are a lot of other fun activities that we can do with maths. Okay, so create your interest in math and help people who are suffering the math phobia. Okay, so I was one when I was a student, but having come across to the level of management and senior management into the CXO level, now I am very fond of numbers, because numbers gives you profit, and numbers help you understand whether your company is progressing on the is going on the progressive scale or it's declining. So always be close to numbers. Probably if there's anything else, you can ask me.
Among students, you can even post your queries in the chat. No, Kausali can forward if there are any queries. Participants, dear participants, you can post your queries in the chat box. You want to ask anything regarding the subject?
Okay, so I think they're all in the holiday enjoyment mode. So I hope it was valuable. You can just give me your comments on how you found the session, or how interesting was the Capricorn's constant. Uh,
Yes, sir.
okay,
My students, yeah.
fine, good. Rehana, no questions, sir. Excellent.
Sir, we are having students from all different streams, sir. Apart from mathematics, even commerce and other science students are also here.
Yes, yes. I mean, I saw that, man. BCom students where their ID was also
Yeah,
there.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Okay. So go through it. You can understand how people were there. I mean, our leaders suffered, or what kind of situation was there. He explains about the atrocities or the difficulties they faced in the cell, in the sense the prison, and some were given first class treatment in the jail, where Jawaharlal Nehru had a beautiful rose garden in his prison. So all these things, I mean, you get to know only when you read the books written by the people of that particular time. Okay, so I request everyone to buy this book. Okay, so this is a great investment. It doesn't cost much. So if you go to it, it's been 3-4 years since I bought this. 500, I think, close to 500. Okay, but you have valuable information about our country, Okay, so learn from all this. Okay, learn from all these great people. I would say leaders are readers. Okay, so once you gain some input, because we did not live at this time, or probably if we would have lived at this time, we would not be here now. Okay, so we can take the inspiration from him only through the books that he has written. If you want to be a leader, you should definitely be a reader. So buy books of good leaders, top leaders, inspiring leaders. Go through their activities or go through their events and activities, how they handle the situation. Then you will have an insight on how you can overcome the obstacles or challenges that you face in your academic, your career, your life, and then you can come out with flying colors. That's it. Sure. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
students have not chatted. They have just given positive comments, positive feedback regarding the session, sir. They are very happy
Yes.
to meet you in this session. And
Same here.
girls, you can any queries, please text ma. Anyone is having any query? Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, ma. Thank you, girls. Ma, Darshini.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable session. Dear participants, feedback link is posted in the chat box. Please do fill the feedback link. Last but not least, we have come to the end of our session. I would like to call upon Ms. Kavita.
Ma, Sita Lakshmi ma'am is there. Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Sita ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, you can deliver the vote of thanks, ma'am.
Now,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Continue.
Jai Vasavi, good afternoon to all. I deem it a great honor to propose the vote on behalf of all. I thank our speaker, Tamim Ansari, for conducting this webinar successfully and sharing his valuable knowledge with all. Also, express my heartfelt thanks to our honorable correspondent, sir, Sri Gugilam Ramesh, and our managing committee members who have always supported us. I express my heartfelt thanks to our adorable principal, Dr. Mohanasri ma'am, and our vice principals, Dr. Vanita ma'am and Dr. Napinai ma'am, and IIC coordinators. I thank all teaching and non-teaching staff for their contribution. I also thank the participants for joining us. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for the opportunity, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. We'll just have a, all of you come in video, ma'am. We'll have a, take a screenshot. I request all the participants to put on your video.
We should have actually announced it some 10 minutes back. People would freshen up, give some touch up, and then come on the screen. All girls means, I mean, they would like to look beautiful. So you could have given this, open your camera some 10 minutes earlier.
Hey guys, what do you do? I'm going to recharge and system videos.
लगातार बारिश से सामने कुछ ना कुछ कमियां भी है और परेशानी भी है। तमिलनाडु में कई ऐसे जिले जहां पर स्कूलों को भी बंद किया गया है, कई जिले जहां स्कूल बंद किए गए हैं भारी बारिश के हालात को देखते हुए। एंटी साइक्लोन की वजह से मौसम अचानक से यहाँ पर बदला है और इसके बाद स्कूलों को बंद करना पड़ा। उत्तर पश्चिमी
Thank you to all the participants. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so you can all get back to sleep. So the weather is very good. Enjoy the weather. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you. Now, participants, kindly fill the feedback, ma. Feedback link is posted in our chat box. I request all the participants to put the feedback link. Ma Kavita, have you posted, ma? Kausalya? Feedback link?
She has posted, ma'am. She has
Okay, ma'am.
posted in chat
I
box.
request all the participants to fill the feedback, ma girls, so that you get the
Okay,
certificate.
ma'am.
Thank you, girls.
Thank you, ma'am.
Really understand? Yes,